these are the only 3 exercises you need if you want a bigger, better chest. What's good, people, and welcome to a new YouTube video. As you read from the title, from the intro, today we're going to be talking about chest exercises. I'll be giving you my personal opinion, the things that actually worked for me in the last 4 to 5 years of my training. As you know, my chest is still my weak point from the pictures of before. As you can see to the pictures of, let's say, the show day, you can see how much I grew, how much I improved my chest. There is still a lot of work to do, but coming from someone that is not chest dominant, that maybe doesn't have the best chest genetics, I think that my advice could be really useful to a lot of you that maybe also don't have the best chest genetics. Before we get started with the 3 exercises, make sure to like this video and subscribe, because more than 50% of you are not subscribed. So absolutely, if you like my content, go down below and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So for exercise number 1, I chose the pec deck flies. I really believe in the pre-activation of the muscle groups before really going to the main exercises of the workout. So in this context, the pec deck is a staple in my chest push workouts. I also remember when I was really a beginner and my chest was flat. The pec deck flies were basically the only exercise where I felt a good connection with my chest, where I really felt that squeeze. I also put this exercise as number 1 because I would advise you to start off with this exercise, because it really gives you a perfect contraction as the muscle gets shortened. As far as contraction goes, I think this is the best exercise that there is for the chest. And as I said, I would really advise you to start off your workouts with it, to really get a good pump, a good connection with your chest, but to really also warm up your shoulders, because as we know, the shoulders can be really problematic when it comes to chest exercises, because they can get activated a lot and they can also get injured a lot, specifically in the heavy pushes. If your shoulders are not warmed up properly, you will not have a good chest workout. Rep range, I would keep it, let's say, medium to high rep range. I wouldn't go in the lower rep ranges for the pec deck, because as I said, I really want you to use it as a pre-activation exercise to really pump the blood into the chest. So for the main working sets, the lowest I would go for the pec deck would be 8 to 10 reps, but I would advise you to keep it above 10 reps, let's say 10 to 12 reps on the working sets for the pec deck. Exercise number 2 would be an incline press. So I can give you the incline press that I specifically use, but of course everyone chooses the exercise, the machine that is the best for them and that is available in their gym. So me personally, for my incline press, I do the classic Smith machine incline press. So this would be the main exercise of your chest workouts. I would really put a lot more emphasis on incline movements rather than flat or even decline movements, because I would say 99% of people are lacking the upper part of the chest. First off, you develop that lower chest, then mostly the middle chest, if we can call it middle, gets filled up, and then always the problem is in the collar, upper collar, so upper chest zone. So I would really, maybe even for both of the main exercises, choose incline movements. How much of an incline? Well, that depends a lot. That depends a lot on your body structure, on your rib cage, on your technique, on your shoulders, flexibility, but I would say that the sweet spot is somewhere between 30 and 45-degree angle with the bench. Before we go to the rep range for this exercise, I would like to give 2 tips on this one, specifically the Smith machine incline press. First one is to pay attention to not have a really close grip, because then your triceps will get much more activated. And let's say that we don't want that. We want to push with our chest, with our upper chest fibers as much as possible, but also of course don't go too wide. So here you need to practice, you need to get better with experience, you need to see what suits your body, what suits your width, let's say your shoulder width the best. So that is tip number 1. And tip number 2, this is an exercise where we don't necessarily focus that much on the squeeze. We could say that there is no squeeze on the Smith machine incline press. So I would really advise you to stop right before the elbows are fully extended. So never go to full extension of the elbow, but stop a little bit before. You could call it 2/3 rep. I wouldn't call it half reps because we're going much above the halfway of the rep, but 2/3, let's say, if you can imagine that, stop at 2/3 of the rep. And when you go into the negative, absolutely, as every exercise, control the negative, but also specifically for the Smith machine incline press, stop, let's say, a couple of centimeters above your chest. So do not touch the chest with your bar. Really control the weight. You decide when to stop. So stop 2-3 centimeters above your chest, and then from there really just drive and explode up, using, or let's say trying to use, only your chest and to not involve your front delts too much.
Are you tired of not seeing results in the gym?
If so, click the first link in the description and let us help you.
And then for exercise number 3, we have a flat press. Here, of course, you need to choose what you have in your gym. You know, if you have a really good machine that gives you that good stretch, that converges and everything, of course, that is the best option. For me personally, in this flat press, my choice is the standard classic compound movement known as the dumbbell flat press. But still, as I said before, the bench on this flat dumbbell press is still not exactly flat. But let's say I put it somewhere on the first incline level that is possible, which is probably somewhere around 10 degrees. Why is that? Well, first of all, because I said that we really want to prioritize the upper chest, but also because studies have shown that even if you're doing an incline movement, your whole chest is getting activated. So incline movements are king, but then you need to have a selection of different degrees of incline. And I think that's the real formula for success for a big chest, because if you then maybe stick to flat movements, then their studies show that the involvement of the upper chest is much lower than compared to maybe the activation of the, let's say, lower to middle chest in incline movements. So as I said before, stick to incline movements. So as I said, this for me is the flat dumbbell press. Let's talk about rep ranges. I also forgot to do the rep ranges in the second exercise, but the rep ranges for me would be exactly the same for the incline Smith machine and the flat dumbbell press. So here, of course, there are heavy compound movements, main push movements. So here you can aim for maybe also a lower rep range to really get strong. For me, my tactic, if you watched my previous video, as my new workout split, my new tactic, if you still haven't, go watch it. For me, the first working set would be somewhere between 6 to to 10 reps for both of these exercises, and then the second one I would aim for a higher rep range to really stimulate the muscle in different types of rep ranges. So the second working set, which for me would be a back off set with 20% less weight, would be then to aim somewhere between 10 to 14 reps. Now let's go to some bonus tips that I think can really improve and put your chest workouts to the next level. First tip is to really focus on the stretch. In each exercise that you do, the stretch, I would say, is the most important part. That's the part of the movement where the most muscle breakdown happens, but also that's the most important part of the movement to really get a good feel with your muscle. If you slow down your negatives, you will get a better pump in your next workout. I can guarantee you that. Second tip, if you can, always choose movements that converge. So always choose movements that bring your arms together, because this is also the main action of the chest, is to bring your arms across your body. Tip number 3, which I already mentioned throughout the video, is really pay attention to not push, to not move the weight with your front delts. That is something that comes with experience and time. I am still guilty of that, especially at the end of the sets, you know, when the chest is really fatigued, when it gets hard. You can see a lot of rounding up in most people, so that is the thing that you really need to pay attention to. Tip number 4 is quite simple. You just need to like the exercise. If you don't like the exercise, I would rather see you do an exercise that you enjoy than maybe an exercise that you don't enjoy but is much more optimal. So here comes the, let's say, classical example. If you like the barbell bench press, then absolutely do it. If that is something that you enjoy, progressing in it, getting strong, which is maybe, let's say, not the best in all of the things that I mentioned with the converging, with the shoulder injuries and everything, but if you enjoy an exercise, then better choose that exercise than another. And tip number 5, last but not least, is choose an exercise that has a lot of room for progression. So if you're working on a machine and you already full stacked it and you're just starting out with a new workout split, do not program that exercise, because yes, maybe it has all the points that you can check off as an optimal exercise, but the main thing, if you cannot progress on it, if you cannot increase the weight and of course also increase the reps on it, there's no point in full stacking a machine and then only increasing the reps and then coming to a rep range of, I don't know, 20 to 30 reps. I think that is not that advantageous, so always choose exercises that have room for progression. Let me know in the comments down below what is your favorite chest exercise, and as always, use code MAX5 on GymBeam for 5% off for the best supplements, training gear, everything you need, and use code MAX10 on For My Future for the most swag, for the best gym wear. That is all for me for this YouTube video, but wait, YouTube thinks you will like this video right here, so click on it, check it out, and see you in the next one. Peace.